Okay guys, in this video we're going to be talking about multiplying and dividing monomials. So we already know how to add and subtract them. We need to make sure that we group like terms. Multiplying a monomial is different. So if we're going to multiply a monomial by a constant, so we have our monomial with, let's just say, is 5a. This is our monomial. And our constant is 4. We're multiplying 5a times 4. All we're going to do is multiply 5 times 4 and keep our variable. So 5 times 4 is 20. Our variable stays the same and we have 20a. Now if we had, that's it, this is as hard as that part gets. So even if we had something else, let's say we had 10x as our monomial and we multiplied it by 3. Well, we multiply our monomial by the constant, so we multiply the coefficient by our constant. So 10 times 3 will give us 30, and our variable stays the same. This is if we want to multiply a monomial by a constant. However, if we want to multiply a monomial by a monomial, for example 3a times 2b, we have to multiply the coefficients together. So the coefficients together, we need to multiply these, and we need to multiply the variables. So 3 times 2 is 6. A times b, because they're not like terms, we can't add them together, so it's just 6ab. That's what we need to do if we want to multiply monomials. Now, what if we want to multiply monomials that are fractions? Okay, so if we want to do monomials that are fractions, well, we do the same thing that we would do with normal fractions. So if I have 1 over 2 times 3 over 4b plus 5 over 2 times 1 over 10b, I have to multiply it out. So if I were to go and multiply 1 times 3, we remove the brackets, so we have 1 over 2 times 3 over 4b plus 5 over 2 times 1 over 10b. I end up with 3 over 8b. 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 4 is 8. And for the second part of the equation, if I go 5 times 1, I end up with 5. 2 times 10 gives me 10, and I still have my b. Now the thing is, I'm not quite done yet, because I still need to add them together. And to add them together, we've done this with fractions, we need to have the same denominator. And we need to have the lowest common denominator. So I can do this a couple of ways. I could list the multiples of 8, 24, 32, and 40, and then the multiples of 10, 10, 20, 30, 40 to get my lowest common multiple of 40. Or I can make a factor tree. So I could make 8, 2 and 4, and 10. Do a factor tree for that. Find out what they have in common. 2, I'm left with 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 5 is 40. I know my lowest common denominator is 40. So I need to multiply the bottom and the top by the same number to get 40. 8 times 5 is 40. And then we have 10 times 4 is 40. And I'm left with 15 over 40b plus 20 over 40b. And if I add that together, I end up with 25 over 40b, which I can reduce because both of these numbers are divisible by 5. So I end up with 5 over 8b as my answer. This is if you just want to multiply. If we want to multiply monomials, whether they're fractions or just regular monomial problems. That's it. Now if we're looking at dividing, we want to look at dividing monomials. Okay, we're going to be looking at dividing monomials by a constant. So if I were to have something like my variable, my monomial as 20m divided by 5, I would do the same thing that I did when I was multiplying. I just am going to multiply my coefficient and my constant. So what's 5 divided by 20? It's 4. And my variable stays the same, so I get 4m. This is all you really need to know to do. You need to make sure you're able to multiply and divide monomials. So if I were to have, let's say, another one where I have 30x divided by 6 equals, well, I just go inside here, I divide my coefficient by my constant, which would end up giving me 6 divided by 30 is 5, and my constant is, my variable is x, and I end up with 5x. This is all you need to know for multiplying and dividing right now. This is it. I mean, we can even do one if we want with a negative number. So if I have negative 18x divided by negative 6, negative 6 divided by negative 18, a negative and a negative will make a positive, so I end up with positive 3, and my x stays the same, 3x. That is it for multiplying and dividing monomials. That's what we're going to be doing. So I hope that this makes sense and you guys understand what it is exactly that we're doing. And I hope this video is helpful for multiplying and dividing monomials. So take care, guys, and I'll see you in class.